Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into something really personal, but also pretty universal, the complexities of family, absence, and, well, that quiet resilience of hope.
Mm.
Our source material for this deep dive is quite compelling. It's excerpts from a work called The Daughter Who Left. Now, this isn't your typical research paper or anything like that. It's a story, a really moving story about a mother, a daughter, and a house that feels like it holds more memories than actual walls. So our mission today is to sort of unpack the emotional heart of it, find those surprising insights about human connection, and maybe pinpoint those aha moments that make a story really stick with you. You can hear about waiting, about unspoken pain, and that really delicate process of healing.
Yeah, and what's so fascinating here is how a narrative, just a story, can shed light on these incredibly complex human experiences. We'll be looking at the subtle things, the cues, the symbols, even the silences, which are so powerful here, that define this mother-daughter relationship, and hopefully how they offer some insights into our own connections, too.
Okay, so the deep dive begins with this immediate, punch to the gut. The house had grown too quiet.
Mm.
And it's not peaceful quiet, right? It's the kind that wraps itself around your chest and makes it hard to breathe. That just instantly sets the tone for the mother's long wait. Months of waiting.
That phrase, too quiet, it's doing so much work there. It's not just about sound or the lack of it. It really highlights how absence can become this palpable, almost oppressive force in a space. Like you said, it's the presence of unspoken grief, a powerful opening.
Absolutely. And then chapter 1, the story behind the silence and waiting for the weekend that never came, it kicks right off with the daughter's promise. I'll be there next weekend, Mama. Promise. Just like old times. And the mother, she circles the date on the calendar in red. Then she'd go through all these preparations, cleaning the house twice, fluffing cushions, washing the good tea set, buying fresh flowers, even baking her daughter's favorite cake chocolate with raspberry filling the way she liked it when she was 12. Wow. What does all that tell us?
Well, these details, they're not just actions, are they? The specific cake, the good tea set. It reveals this profound longing. It's like she's clinging desperately to a past normalcy, Performing these rituals becomes this tangible manifestation of hope, maybe even a kind of magical thinking. Like if she does everything just right, she can make the return happen. It really speaks to how vulnerable hope makes us.
Right. And then comes the wait, that slow, agonizing stretch of time. Saturday starts with sunlight and hope, but it fades into evening. Then Sunday comes and goes, and by nightfall she knew no one was coming. But even after that crushing blow, she keeps doing things, keeps checking the phone, leaving these cheerful voicemails, rehearsing reasons not to feel hurt. It says she even starts talking to the silence. But here's the part that really got me. She keeps cleaning the house every weekend, makes tea for 2, never takes that red circle off the calendar, and leaves the porch light on all night. And the text says, not because she believed anymore, but because she didn't know how to turn it off. What is that about, that ritual?
Oh, that line is just, it's so powerful. It captures the inertia, doesn't it? The inertia of grief, but also of love. It's this waiting that's gone beyond active belief. It's become this deeply ingrained pattern, almost muscle memory. It's not just denial, I think. It's a kind of loyalty, a silent refusal to give up on the relationship, on the person. It shows how our coping mechanisms, our rituals, can just keep going long after we consciously think they're useful. Can't just turn off hope like a switch, even when it hurts.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so moving into chapter 2, a house that remembered everything. The house itself really steps up here, becomes almost a character. Didn't speak, but it remembered. Footsteps, music, arguments, laughter. It feels like it's breathing with the mother's grief, almost holding its breath alongside her. And the daughter's room, untouched, like a shrine almost, dust settling like an unwanted guest. The mother just stands in the doorway, whispering to the silence about shoes left on the floor, looking at this fading photo of them together. What does this symbolism of space, this untouched room, tell us about memory and that struggle to let go?
Well, our physical spaces, they're such potent containers, aren't they? For memories, for unresolved feelings. The mother's refusal to disturb the room. It's this poignant act. It's hope, but it's also a struggle. It embodies that very human desire to freeze time, to keep the possibility alive. If the environment stays the same, maybe, just maybe, the person can come back to it unchanged, too. It's a silent plea, really. And it says so much about the emotional weight we pour into our homes.
And the silence in that house is described as so oppressive, heavy, curled around her ankles, whispered in her ear, asking these awful questions like, what happened to us? Did I say too much? Did I not say enough? And she keeps replaying their last conversation, the daughter's bright, busy voice saying, of course, Mama, you worry too much. Those words just become an echo trapped in time that feels so real.
Oh, absolutely. That internal monologue replaying the last words, it's classic. It shows the self-blame, the rumination that kicks in when there's an unexplained absence. The silence isn't just outside her, it mirrors her internal turmoil, that agonizing search for a reason, for something she could have done differently. We often turn inward, don't we, questioning ourselves, even when it might have nothing to do with us. And that casual comment, you worry too much, it gets twisted into this weapon of self-doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, then chapter 3 arrives. The knock. It's a rainy Thursday. Everything feels slow and heavy. The mother's just folding towels, and she hears these two soft, hesitant taps. And the text notes, no one ever knocked anymore. There's the stillness, then a second knock, even softer, like a question. Her slow walk to the door, her heart pounding with fear, longing, a cautious ache. The buildup is intense. It really is. And what's so striking is the silence in that moment of arrival, before any words are spoken. The text says the silence between them was louder than the rain. That speaks volumes about the sheer weight of unspoken history, doesn't it? All the pain, the expectation, the years, and how incredibly hard it is to bridge that gap. It captures the raw, fragile reality of a reunion you've longed for, but also maybe dreaded.
And the reveal.
Yeah.
It's her daughter. Older, thinner, soaked from the rain. Her eyes are familiar but full of something she couldn't quite name. Pain, maybe, regret, or simply the weight of time. And the daughter's first words, hi, Mama. Just 2 words. But they split the silence wide open. The mother just steps aside, offers a space, a welcome, an invitation. The daughter comes in slowly, like someone entering a museum of her own life, notices all the unchanged things, photos, a ceramic cat, her old drawing. Nothing had changed. Everything had changed. That duality is just...
Yeah, it is. That line, nothing had changed, everything had changed, perfectly captures the paradox. The physical space is frozen, but the people are profoundly different. The daughter's hesitation, her eyes full of this unnamed emotion, it underlines the massive courage it takes just to show up, right? Not knowing what you'll face, how to explain years of absence. It really highlights that huge shifts in relationships often start with these very quiet, very hesitant acts.
Then you get the daughter's confession, her voice barely audible. I didn't know how to come back. I waited too long. I thought, maybe you wouldn't want me anymore. And the mother's response is so simple, so profound. You're here now. And the narrator adds that insight. Sometimes the heart doesn't need explanations, just presence, just a hand in the dark, just a knock at the door. That really hits home, the power of just showing up.
It absolutely does. It nails a fundamental truth about healing, I think. Often what we crave most isn't the perfect explanation or apology. It's just presence, connection.
Yeah.
The daughter admitting she didn't know how to come back, that speaks to that crushing weight of shame, of inertia that builds up over time. It feels impossible. And the mother's, you're here now. Well, that's just radical acceptance, isn't it? Prioritizing the now, the reconnection over dissecting the past. It's profound grace.
Right. So chapter 4, coming back is harder than leaving, moves them to the kitchen table. They sit like 2 travelers who had taken different roads. The air is thick, not with anger, but with history. And the mother's actions, they just speak volumes. She offers a towel, dry socks, makes tea in these mismatched cups from years ago. But she doesn't ask the big questions, doesn't ask where she's been or why she didn't call. That quiet acceptance is really something.
It's an incredible act of care, isn't it? It shows that true understanding, real forgiveness, often starts not with an interrogation, but with these quiet acts of compassion, just meeting the immediate need. And the daughter's confession that follows. But the more time passed, the harder it got to come back. I'd pick up the phone and then put it down. That feels so deeply honest. It captures that inertia of absence perfectly. It's often not malice, it's just overwhelm, fear of the conversation, fear of judgment, maybe fear of disappointing them again.
Then the mother shares her side, honestly. I wasn't angry, just hurt. I didn't know if you were okay. I kept thinking I must have done something. And the daughter admits, it wasn't you. It was me. I didn't know how to face you. I thought I had to have everything figured out before I came back. And I didn't. I still don't. To which the mother has that perfect reply. You didn't need to figure it all out. You just needed to come home. That exchange just feels so real, so raw.
It does, and it raises that important question about the expectations we put on ourselves and maybe on others when we're trying to mend things. The daughter felt she needed this perfect, resolved version of herself to return. But the mother's simple, you just needed to come home, it just cuts through all that complexity right down to the fundamental need. Presence. Acceptance. No conditions attached. It's a huge lesson in grace.
The daughter lays her fear bare. I thought if I stayed away long enough, you'd stop waiting. Then the mother's trembling hand reaches across the table. I never stopped. Wow, that moment. It's just the core of it.
It really is the heart of the story, isn't it? That fear, will I be forgotten? Will my place still be there? It's so universal when there's been distance. But the mother's I never stopped. It's not just about waiting. It's about persistent, unconditional love. The kind that holds space, even in silence, even when it hurts.
Yeah. The chapter wraps up with that symbolic moment about the cake. The mother says, there's no cake. I stopped baking it after the second time you didn't come. Which is honest, right? But then she immediately adds, but I can make one now. And the daughter's simple reply, let me help. That small exchange, it's more than just baking, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge shift. It goes from her solitary ritual of waiting, baking the cake alone, to a shared act, a collaborative act. The cake, which was a symbol of disappointment, of unfulfilled hope, now becomes a symbol of starting over, together. Let me help, is the daughter actively stepping in, participating in the repair. It's about partnership and rebuilding, not just receiving forgiveness. Deeply symbolic.
So chapter 5, the door is still open. The house starts feeling warmer that night, from something less visible, something quiet. The daughter stays. She helps wash dishes, asks for spare blankets, these small, normal things. They're actually huge signs of return. She opens the door to her old room slowly, like unsealing a memory. Sees her old stuff, the pink sweater, the books, even the glow-in-the-dark star still clung stubbornly to the ceiling. She smiles, doesn't take them down. And then the mother turns off the porch light for the first time in months. That feels massive. The waiting is finally over.
Yeah, it's a profound moment. And what's really striking here, I think, is how, well, anticlimactic the healing process is described. There are no declarations, no timeline. It's just the quiet sounds, the clink of a spoon, the low hum of the kettle. These become the new sounds of healing. It shows that healing isn't always some grand, dramatic event. It's often found in the quiet return of shared everyday life. That mundane rhythm is where the profound shift happens.
The next morning, there are 2 mugs sat on the table. The daughter comes out, hair tangled, eyes still puffy, looking like her teenage self again. And the silence now is gentle. A simple request for a walk, just around the neighborhood. She says, I want to see if the old bookstore is still there, as if she had never left. Later, she finds an old sketchbook, laughs at a badly drawn portrait of the family cat, and she says, I forgot how much this house remembers. And the mother's reply, echoing the house's role all along, it never stopped.
The house really is like the steadfast witness, isn't it? A container for that enduring love. The daughter rediscovering bits of her past, that simple walk, the mother's quiet affirmation that the house never stopped remembering. It all reinforces that deep connections, like a well-loved home, can hold us. They can sustain us, even through long absences. It suggests some bonds just have this indelible quality.
And then the final act. The mother looks at that faint red circle on the calendar, and without sadness, she uncircles it. Then she draws a new one, a small circle, a quiet promise. Tomorrow. Because now tomorrow was something to look forward to. That's not just an ending, it's a whole new beginning.
Exactly. It's the ultimate symbol of healing, isn't it? Moving from that passive, painful waiting to active anticipation. Uncircling the old date acknowledges the past, the hurt, but doesn't dwell there. The new circle for tomorrow, it's this forward-looking hope, a conscious choice to embrace the future, the reconnection. It's a quiet, powerful act of letting go of the burden in favor of the present promise.
So wrapping this up, what does all this mean for us listening? This deep dive into The Daughter Who Left. It's more than just one family story. It feels like a powerful reminder of how memory, silence, and sometimes just the simple act of showing up, how they can bridge even these huge emotional gaps. The house, the cake, that porch light, the calendar, they become these potent symbols of love that persists and the real possibility of repair.
Yeah, and it raises a really important question for all of us, I think. What does it truly mean to come home? Physically, yes, but emotionally, too. The story suggests that maybe the hardest part isn't always leaving. Sometimes it's finding the courage to return, and just as importantly, the grace required to welcome someone back without judgment.
Absolutely. And if this story moved you, maybe consider this. The source material kind of ends with this beautiful prompt for you, the listener. Maybe take a moment today. Reach out to someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Sometimes, honestly, all it takes is a simple text, a call, maybe even that knock on the door to start healing something, or just to strengthen a bond.
Mm-hmm. And if you've ever been the one waiting in silence, or maybe the one struggling with the thought of returning, remember you're definitely not alone in that feeling. This story is such a powerful reminder that it's often never too late. Never too late to come home or, to leave the light on for someone.
Because sometimes that first step back is just letting someone know the door is still open. We really hope this deep dive into the quiet power of connection has given you something interesting, maybe something meaningful to reflect on. We'll be back soon with another deep dive.